It being on or about 6:30, I call the meeting of the Easton Conservation Commission to order.
Recording in progress.
Thank you, Jen. This meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by board and commission members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count towards a quorum. Let's begin, as we always do, establishing quorum with a roll call vote. Carroll, present.
Crossman, present.
Goodman, present.
Vecchio, present.
If anyone is here for our first agenda item, general public comment, please raise your hand.
Well, you have a hand raised, but I suspect it's for his permit application hearing.
Okay, so the general public comment, let's call them up, is for projects that are not on the agenda. Anything that has a public hearing, you'll have an opportunity to speak when that item is called. I can't tell on my end, Jen, did that,
Oh, yep.
do we still have a public comment?
Nope.
Okay. So we'll move on to hearings and possible deliberations. First up is 81 Rockland Street, which is a request for determination of applicability for a septic repair. Sorry, Jen, I'm on the binder. Strike that. First up is 100 Elm Street.
Hey, had me confused for a moment. Good.
I had myself confused for a moment. I was in an old document. I apologize.
Hold on.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, you had me confused too. I got nervous for a minute.
Nope, totally my end. I apologize.
All good. Let me pull up the plan. As soon as you confirm we're looking at it, we'll dive in.
I can see it. We can hear you.
Cool.
Start whenever you'd feel.
All right, I'm ready. For the record, Peter Lyons with Collins Civil Engineering Group, representing the homeowner, Mr. Robert Langway. We're here tonight for a notice of intent relative to the repair of a failed 4-bedroom septic system. Looking at the plan, this is a very large property near Town Hall. This is 100 Elm Street. This is set on a 9.2 acre parcel set back to the north side of Elm Street. In the back of the property, we have some mean high delineations and the BVW associated with that. The BVW line is essentially at or just beyond the tree line in the rear of the property, delineated by Brook Monroe as flags 1 through 13. The 50-foot buffer to that cuts the backyard in half, and the 100-foot falls through the middle of the house. 100 foot from the mean high is right in the middle of the site where the leaching field's going, and the 200-foot outer riparian limit is at the front of the house. The overall plan for this project is to replace all the existing septic components. If we start at the house, that'll kind of explain why we're working towards the wetlands when we have all this property. The existing system, all the flow is combined in the house, and it comes out below grade, below the basement slab, into a septic tank and a leaching pit in the backyard. Not really practical to reroute the plumbing, so in order to maintain a gravity septic system, we have proposed this in the backyard. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer. Sorry for the bouncing around, but it's kind of a busy area. If we zoom in here, I just want to highlight there's a lot of underground utilities supplying from the west, supplying our property, as well as the property to the southeast. So there's some pretty heavy duty underground electric utilities kind of crisscrossing through the backyard. So the location we've chose is within the 50-foot buffer to the BVW. However, it avoids the underground utilities. So as proposed, the leaching field is 21 feet off of approximately wetland flag 7. Erosion control is proposed at 10 feet off wetland flag 7. And in the vicinity of the work, we're doubling up the erosion control due to the steep topography. Looking a little bit to the west here, this is an existing paved driveway that's going to be our site access, soil stockpiling area outside the 50-foot buffer, and some debris just off the pavement that are to be removed by hand. We've provided conservation posts along the basically the existing tree line. So we have conservation posts shown it, and I think it's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like 6 locations here. Again, site access is going to be from the front around this paved area. There will be a little change in topography, about a foot over the northern end of the septic system. This is all occurring in existing area. We're not anticipating the removal of any trees or vegetation associated with the construction or site access. This one, we have provided a waiver for work within the 50-foot buffer to the BVW, indicating that it meets the public good requirement, benefit to the public good by updating a failed septic system in the vicinity of a wetland, in the buffer zone specifically. Regarding the staff report and comments, just looking at this, I want to make sure this is the most recent plan, because
Yeah, it's not. There's a later plan.
yeah, we proposed some plantings and stuff. Apologize on that. I can try to pull it up quick. While I work on that, does anyone have questions so far on this?
I mean, my initial question on this was location of that system, but understanding the electrical situation, I don't have any additional questions.
Sure.
Jed, I think most of what you had is addressed by the updated plan that we're about to see, but do you have anything else you want to add to the conversation?
Just a question. Peter mentioned the access would be through the parking area and the driveway on the left, but the plan says parking access on the right. Is that changed on the revised plan?
Yeah, let me see. I just want to make sure I have the right plan up now. If you guys are looking at my screen, we should show 2 revisions.
Yep.
All right, cool. So I apologize, getting back in on that. So yeah, we will actually be accessing the site from the eastern side of the house. And then one of the big differences with this one is we're proposing some mitigation plantings in the area of the debris removal over to the west, and then a secondary area adjacent or to the east of the existing septic system, right along the edge of lawn. What are we proposing there? We're just proposing 5 clusters of 3 for a total of 15 high bush blueberry shrubs. Again, just inside the existing tree line. Let's see, what else? I believe that addressed all or most of the staff report comments. If there was anything else I missed, or if the commission has any other questions on this, I'll try to address them. Zoom back in on that for you.
Any members of the commission have questions or comments regarding this project?
Just note that the septic plan has a liner. I'm not sure if you mentioned that before, Peter.
I did not mention that, but yes, the septic plan has been revised to show a impermeable liner or a barrier 5 feet around the edge of the entire septic system, due to the proximity of the wetland being within the 50-foot.
Thank you. Any members of the public have comments regarding 100 Elm Street?
Nope.
Seeing none, Peter, I assume you'd like to close?
Yes, please.
Motion to close the public hearing for 100 Elm Street.
Second.
Carol motion, Goodman second, roll call vote. Carol, aye.
Rossman, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Vecchio, aye.
Motion to issue an order of conditions and permit for work for 100 Elm Street.
Vecchio, second.
Carol motion, Vecchio second, roll call vote. Carol, aye.
Rossman, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Vecchio, aye.
Peter, I think we have you again next. Up next is 82 Beaver Dam.
Yep.
Notice of intent for the replacement of a residential septic system, proposed deck, expansion, proposed 30 by 30 athletic court, tree removal, lawn restoration, and vegetation management, and renovation of 2 existing garages.
Correct. We should be looking at the plan. This is a pretty busy one, so
Yeah. We can
try to walk us through it. Again, for the record, Peter Lyons with Collins Civil Engineering Group. Notice of intent, as mentioned, for the replacement of a residential septic, proposed deck expansion. We are eliminating the proposed athletic court, but still looking at tree removal, lawn restoration, and some vegetation management, as well as the restoration of 2 existing garage structures. Starting with a quick site overview, like we always do. Off to the east is MHW. Looks like we have 2 through 7 shown on the plan, and WF 1 through 13 shown. The property line falls just west of that. The septic system is currently coming out of the back of the house. There's a septic tank to a leaching field way out in the backyard. Excuse me. Our proposal with this one is to replace the existing septic tank with a 1,500 gallon tank and pump chamber located approximately 65 feet from the wetlands. And we're going to pump it up into the front yard, where we pump it to the front yard where we're showing a 20 by 32 foot leaching field, with an approximate 2 to 3 foot mound due to the high groundwater on the whole site. A couple other things. The proposed leaching will be 59 feet from wetland flag 11. Erosion control is basically going to encompass all this work. So for the septic and access, it's going to be right up front. Erosion control wraps around the 2 garages to be proposed renovated. And then in the back area, the existing lawn is really overgrown. The whole site hasn't really been maintained in some time. The contractor has cleared little paths, for access, mostly to do the test pits. Let's see, with the existing garage structures, there was some questions on those. They are going to be, they're existing, they're going to remain in the same location. One is just going to be insulated. I believe that's the first one with minimal actual exterior construction. And then the one in the rear is proposed to be reframed and reconstructed, but on the existing foundation. Same dimensions and same or very similar overall height on that. The garages are 28 feet and 18 feet off the BVW, but again, no change in footprint, no expansion of impervious areas associated with those. Lastly, we will look at the deck off the back of the house. There's an existing deck and porch that we're proposing to expand, basically square it up with the existing corner of the house. That will be impervious, as it's just decking, so the rain will just go through. That is as close as 64 feet to the BVW. We've got conservation posts shown in, I think, 7 on this one, starting at the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, along the existing tree line, more or less, or 50-foot buffer as it exists in the backyard. There's a chunk back here that I said is overgrown. We're proposing that to be behind the work limit and behind the conservation post to be allowed to revegetate naturally. That area is approximately 2,300 square feet. There's an existing patio it's really tough shape. There's like shrubs, plants, trees, invasives mostly growing up through the existing patio. So the proposal would be to basically keep the same area, but get all that vegetation out of there and provide a new surface for the patio. Again, a lot going on this one, but I think I did my best with the overview. If there's any specific questions from the commission, with this one, we are again looking for a waiver for work and access within the 50-foot buffers. The public benefit to the public good for the overall scope of this project is the replacement of the septic system, the removal of some invasives. Any questions, concerns from the commission? We got our normal notes on this one, conservation post details. Again, the proposed athletic court is no longer on this plan. So I don't believe we're anticipating any increase in pervious area.
Could you explain the zone X and A?
Zone X and Zone A. That is the flood boundary. As determined by the FEMA maps, it looks like the flood elevation is determined as 132.8. So basically, everywhere lower than 132.8 is considered the Zone A, which is a flood zone. Zone X is basically indicating they're out of the flood zone. So the flood zone on this is just under the 133 contour, so basically cuts through the middle of the site. So we can basically simplify that to say the front yard is out of the flood zone and the structures in the rear of the property are within the flood zone limits. Again, we are not altering any grading or impervious within the flood zone limits. The only grading changes occurring in the front yard, which is in the Zone X or not a flood zone.
And really, Peter, you're taking that septic system out of the flood zone.
Yeah, the existing one is. It's just going to be abandoned, as we typically do at the leaching field. It's the least invasive. Any type of pits we would pump and fill for safety, but whereas this is just a leaching field, an existing vegetated area, the best thing we can do is typically to leave that alone. But yes, all the septic flow will be contained in the tanks and rerouted and pumped up front.
Jennifer, any additional staff comment on this one?
Yes. So did the building inspector make a decision on garage number 2? That's completely being rebuilt within the floodplain and may require flood construction. Did you get an answer from him?
I do not know that. I believe we have the our client on here as well. I don't really know how to check the participants or the hand raised. Do we have a Mr. Gomez in here anywhere?
Yep.
Want to bring him up, maybe?
Hello?
Hi, Mr. Gomez. Can you hear us?
Yes, hello, I'm Ludi Gomez.
Thank you. So would you please just introduce yourself by name and address for the record?
I'm Ludi Gomez, owner for 82 Beaver Dam Road in Easton.
Thank you. So Jennifer has asked a question as to whether or not you've heard back from the building inspector about garage number 2.
Yes, I went to the building department and spoke with the building inspector regarding to the structure on the garage, which is right in front of the building coming inside, the middle garage. So the framing basically is getting rebuilt, and I explained to him, showed the plans, and he say as long as I keep the existing footing and foundations and just reframe it, I'm good. I just have to keep the same heights and the same structural layout in there. So no excavation in there, and it should be fine to go.
Okay, thank you.
Just judging, I don't know who has control over that cursor at the moment. Are we talking about rebuilding or reframing the garage to the north or the garage to the south?
I believe it's this one here.
Exactly. Yes, correct.
Okay, that was my only question. I'll just confirm with the building inspector.
Okay, so essentially, we just need to figure out if compensatory storage is required, and that turns on a decision of the building inspector.
Not necessarily compensatory storage, is whether or not the garage requires flood construction. So it would either be compensation or they might have to raise the garage.
Okay, like a FEMA footing situation.
Correct.
All right. So where does that leave us in an ability to advance this?
I mean, it's better to have the answer ahead of time, but Mr. Gomez says he spoke with the building inspector and that was the answer. Then you can have a condition that if something is different, then you'd have to come back to us.
Okay, I think that makes some sense. Questions or comments from other members of the commission here? There's a lot going on here, so take your time.
This looks like the weather report for Hurricane Melissa.
Yeah. All right, seeing no questions or comments from other members of the commission, any public comment here for 82 Beaver Dam?
Nope.
Seeing none, I assume you'd like to close?
Yes, please.
Motion to close the public hearing for 82 Beaver Dam Road.
Second.
Carol motion. Who made the second?
Crossman.
Crossman
Didn't recognize
second.
my name, my voice.
You made it quick, Nate. You made it quick. Roll call
Needed to
vote.
get in there.
Carol, aye.
Crossman, I.
Goodman, aye.
For the record, I did start the meeting when this started, so Spady aye.
Vecchio, aye.
Motion to issue an order of conditions and permit for work for 82 Beaver Dam Road.
Vecchio, second.
Carol motion, Vecchio second. Roll call vote. Carol, aye.
Crossman, I.
Goodman, aye.
Spady aye.
Vecchio, aye.
Thank you.
Mike, I didn't even see you join.
Snuck right in.
Snuck right in.
He's sneaky. That's how he catches those deers.
Kinda.
All right, I got a COC in a bit, but I'll stay tuned.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you
Next
very
one will be
much,
quick.
everyone.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good luck.
sir.
Very nice.
Up next is 40 Bristol Drive, and they have requested a continuance to November 17, 2025. So I'm going to make a motion. Motion to continue 40 Bristol Drive to the November 17 meeting of the Conservation Commission.
Second.
Carol motion, Goodman second. Roll call vote. Carol, aye.
Crossman, I.
Goodman, aye.
Spady aye.
Vecchio, aye.
Moving on to continued hearings and possible deliberations, Main Street and Queesit Brook.
They requested a continuance to November 17th.
Okay. Motion to continue. So was there a comment?
No, I was making a motion to continue.
Second. Goodman motion, Carroll second. Roll call vote. Carroll, aye.
Rossman, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Spady, aye.
Vecchio, aye.
Moving on to certificates of compliance, 30 Rollins Road.
That's ready for a full certificate.
Motion to issue a certificate of compliance for 30 Rollins Road.
Vecchio, second.
Carroll motion, Vecchio second. Roll call vote. Carroll, aye.
Rossman, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Spady, aye.
Vecchio, aye.
Moving on to enforcement. Jen, do you want to start with new?
Sure. Yeah, we just had a new one, 561 Foundry Street. There was cutting all along the bank of Old Pond. We actually did speak with the property owner about cutting the one burning bush. We're very clear about not cutting the rest of the vegetation, but it was cut. So we do need to send that enforcement order unless the commission feels an enforcement letter, unless the commission feels an enforcement order is more appropriate.
You say you talked to the property owner?
Yeah, if I may, real quick, Ben.
Please, Mike.
To that real quick, Nate, he actually confronted me first. I was there doing the work with Jen, and he had brought me over, and he showed me some things like, well, I can't answer that until Jen comes over, and Jen had walked over, and she had explained exactly that you can't cut. And he asked, like, oh, can I cut what about this stuff? And we were like, no, it's only what we explained and what we told you to do, and it was very clear. So it was very surprising to see that he had gone back and clear cut all of it, like all of it.
That's upsetting.
And it's a little, and it's confusing because it's one very obvious tree that we said please cut, and he cleared it all. So it's
I think of the opinion that this one should start with an enforcement order.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Worthy chair, if I could further add, so I noticed it on the agenda, and I had some time today, so I swung by and spoke with. I haven't done any due diligence on the property ownership, but I spoke to a gentleman named Gary, and he did tell me he had permission to cut. He did take me out there to where the said stump of the burning bush was, and there was also perhaps maybe a 5 or 6 inch diameter maple that had been cut, and he stated emphatically that he had done so with permission of the lady. And like Commissioner Spadia said, I observed there is absolutely not one stitch of vegetation in that area, not one blade of grass, nothing of the sort. And he had professed to have no idea what I was doing there and why he was on an agenda for an enforcement. So I'm in concurrence with you of the enforcement.
Okay, and so what would you like the enforcement order to say? Typically it's restoration, come in with a restoration plan for the area and attend the meeting, or just the restoration plan. How long do you want to give for the restoration plan?
Let's request a restoration plan by our November meeting.
Okay.
I think it's an optimistic timeline.
Yeah.
But let's request it. And if we get a response that says I've hired an engineer or a firm and it's going to take some time, we'll have that conversation on the 17th.
Okay.
Everybody else in agreement?
Yeah, I think that's at least we'll get the ball rolling.
Yeah, definitely create a get a record going and a path going here.
So we need a motion for this, right, Jen?
Yes, that would be good.
Okay, so motion to issue an enforcement order for 561 Foundry Street.
Vecchio,
Crossman.
take it, Nate.
Thank you.
Carroll motion, Crossman second. Roll call vote. Carroll, aye.
Crossman, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Spady, aye.
Vecchio, aye.
Thank you.
Next on new enforcement is 331 Bay Road.
Yeah, these are just going to be quick updates, and we did have a follow-up site inspection today, and so we'll continue to work with the property owner on their resolution. I forgot about 95 Union Street, the gravel from the cart path that went into the stream. That was something we talked about maybe June or July. They have filed for 2 wetland permits for the next meeting, so we'll be hearing about that at the next meeting.
Okay.
453 Turnpike, I do have to do that follow-up site inspection. 5 Jonathan Drive, I did the site inspection today. I just need to compare the 2 photographs from the finished restoration work with what's in the field today, but that seems to be holding pretty well. 153 Bay Road, we have a site inspection coming up. 80 Short Street, site inspection coming up. 358 Turnpike, I do need to go and do that final inspection. 109 Rockland Street, site inspection is coming up. 230 Main Street, we have not had a reply yet. 20 Central Street, that site inspection will be scheduled soon. 718 Turnpike, no reply yet. 60 Goldfinch, we have site inspection coming up. 409, 413, 425 Turnpike, no reply. And the last one, 40 Prospect Street. You guys will need to have a discussion about that. If you remember 40 Prospect, there was a violation of some grading. Cease and desist was issued. Then another violation of tree cutting. Cease and desist was issued. They came in with an engineer who proposed a garage in the area, and then we required the restoration work to be on the plans. You issued that permit. None of the restoration work had started. The property was sold. The new property owners moved in, and I notified them that, you know, there was an issue and that we would be working with them to address it, but I have not heard anything from the new property owners, and it looks like the grass is, you know, continued in the floodplain and riverfront area in the back. So that one will take a little more discussion on how you want to handle that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I could try with just a letter to the new property owner and do a site inspection with them to go over what happened in the past and just sort of see how things are going with them.
I think that's a good starting point if you can get a response.
Okay.
Haven't you already, what about the ones you mentioned earlier where you had no response? Have they already received letters or?
Everybody got a letter or an email, whichever way I was communicating with the people to begin with. So I can send a follow-up, and if you don't hear anything by November, then you probably need to do something a little more substantial.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
For all the no replies, or just that one in particular?
There's probably the 3. I'm not too optimistic, but I will resend and hope that we do get something. I mean, maybe somebody was on vacation. I don't know.
Yeah.
So let me just finish my one more note here. Yeah, that's always upsetting when you move in and find out there was an old violation on the property. So, you know, I'll just start with a simple letter for those folks at 40 Prospect. And that's it for violations. It's just an update just so we stay on track. But I suspect that a lot of these we will be closing out at the next meeting.
Thank you, Jen.
Jen, if you would, what was the method of communication on the 561 Foundry?
Nothing yet. When it's a first, yeah, when we have a first notification, and it's pretty close, then usually it goes to the commission and then they sort of decide, that's an enforcement order or a letter. Sometimes I jump on top of it quickly and the letter's out already. In this case, it was not out before the commission had a chance to hear about it.
Makes sense. And then going back to the triple address, I know at the last meeting, we were waiting for this meeting. We didn't have a full commission on the 425 Turnpike Street. Isn't that one? Wasn't they supposed to have something like 2 years ago for us?
Yes, and then we reminded them in the spring.
Nothing.
They were supposed to have started, I think by June 1st, but I'll have to pull that enforcement order back out and see what the date was.
Yeah, I mean, the other one seemed, okay. And again, for the other commissioners, I have met twice with the owner of 331 Bay Road, and I wish all people were as amenable to a solution as the nice folks who live there. But I don't know. Do we step up to 425 as well, where they were supposed to do something 2 years ago? They're supposed to do something in June, and here we are in November, and they're still just sort of not doing anything.
I give it a moment so I could go back and check my records, so I have an exact date for you. I can put that in the resend letter.
Yeah, that'd be
Does say,
great.
listen, this was due on this date. You do have an enforcement order. With that additional notification, the commission could actually assess fines from the date back in June. Or whichever the date is. I just want to be specific on the date, so I just want to check my records on the last email that was sent to them.
Right. Yep. No. Good. Thank you.
Was 40 Prospect the one where the homeowner was going to build the garage for a business or something? Oh, I remember that.
I think so.
Yeah, we had quite a bit of interaction there.
Mhm.
So is 40 Prospect when you come through if you're coming from the regional and you come through the curve, it's on the right?
It sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like as you orientating left to right, the left side is the lawn that slopes down.
To the stream and the flood.
Yeah, yep, towards the wetland.
Yep.
Okay, yep. All right, so I'm just making sure I'm thinking of the right place.
Jen, were you checking? You weren't checking that email right now, were you?
No.
Okay, I just didn't want to move on if you were looking at something.
No, I don't have access to any of my work stuff when I'm at home. So
Good for you. Board discussion. So first up is review meeting minutes of 10/6/25.
I'd like to make a motion to approve them.
Can you get a second?
Speedy second.
Vecchio motion, Spadia second. Roll call vote. Carol, I.
Rossman, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Spady, aye.
Vecchio, aye.
CPC updates.
I was not able to attend the last meeting, but I don't really have any updates.
So up next is chair updates, and I don't have any updates for you this week. So we'll move to environmental planner update.
the clean energy infrastructure facility siting draft regs and I want to say 2 bylaws and 6 guidance documents were all due last week, I think. You had a copy of all those comments in your binder. I think you can see they're pretty substantial and have some significant implications for wetlands and protected property. So those comments are in. You also have the draft 2026 calendar, the meeting calendar. Does anyone, if you had a chance to look at it, does anyone have any comments about the draft?
Now I feel bad. I completely missed it.
I did too.
Oh, well, hopefully it's in there. My
Yeah.
guess is it would be last, pretty close to last.
I'm gonna respectfully suggest that we table that because I got a couple things on the calendar that I would like to not have our lovely meeting on a Monday for.
Yeah, okay. So I did try to stick to that 3-week schedule as much as possible, except for when we have holidays or we always have a change with town meeting, but it's the 3-week schedule. Occasionally it's twice a month, but that seems to work out pretty well for all of us, especially me with no staff. So it is helpful. Yeah, we'll leave that till the next meeting. And then we have November 1st events. So 10 o'clock is the Wheaton Farm Barn Walk. So we can hopefully get some support for the CPC grant application that's on the fall town meeting. That's at 10. Then noon to 3, we have restoration planting at Old Pond. So there's 160 plants. I'm only ordering the trees and shrubs. So 20 trees and shrubs plus the fencing. I'm hoping we're able to get in. So far, I only have 5 volunteers signed up. So please come by and just plant 1 tree and then you can move along. Those 2 events are this weekend. And then that evening, I'm one of the key speakers at the Taunton River Watershed annual meeting, and that'll be held at Bristol Aggie.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, that's all of my updates.
Leaves us with one last item. Any pertinent item not reasonably anticipated by the chair? Seeing none, motion to adjourn.
Crossman second.
Carol motion, Crossman second, roll call vote. Carol, aye.
Crossman, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Beatty, aye.
Veshio, aye.
Sorry.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a great night. Mike, good luck.
Yeah, thank
See
you.
you everyone on Saturday.
Yes.
Couldn't be out of town. Sorry, Jen.
It's okay.
I have to work this weekend. I'm sorry. I'll
I'll
explain.
make-
Ben and I with the excuses.
I have no appropriate excuse yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll also be there Wednesday morning, Thursday afternoon, and possibly Friday morning. We're really close to finishing getting all of the invasive species out of there, but it's definitely going to take us 3-4 more days. And I usually only have 1 or 2 volunteers at a time. So we expect 5 on Friday who've signed up so far, and hopefully 1 or 2 of you can at least stop in for 1 tree.
Nick,
Okay.
you can use hand, foot, and mouth as an excuse. Oh, I'm sorry, Jen. I couldn't help myself. Have a
No.
great night, everybody.
Good luck, Jen.
Thank you.
Night.